Hola, and welcome back to Adiós Guapo. This is a podcast created by beautiful, bold, and bilingual women who are all about embracing our bicultural lives. I'm Lisette.
I'm Melissa.
I'm Maria.
I'm Lisette number 1, I guess.
Flaca here.
Hi, it's Jessie.
So today, with Mother's Day coming up, our topic will be mother-daughter dynamics. Mm-hmm. Who wants to start? Who has a mom?
I am a mom.
We all have a mom.
We all have a mom.
I
have a mom.
And 2 out of the 4 here don't have any kids. But, I mean, we can talk about our experience with our own mom. Mm-hmm. So,
Well, I have a dog.
That's
my son.
Yeah,
It's his birthday today, actually.
Oh, happy birthday.
No necesitas una fiesta buchona.
Lots of
Next time,
bones.
I know how special dogs are because I love my dog, and that's my baby.
well, then I guess it's just me. I have no one.
Oh, damn.
Tienes a Melissa.
Eres tía.
I
I
nieces
am.
and nephews, and I
Yes.
think that's also...
That's kind of like
yeah,
tía.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Thank
very,
you.
and you're very close to them, so...
Yep.
Yes, I am. They make
That's
me cry.
That's a
They
special
do.
relationship, too. Yeah. My younger sister is very close with my children, so I know how special that relationship is.
So, do you guys want to go around then and say who has kids, how many kids? And
Yeah, we can do that.
Oh, me. So, like I said, I have a 5-year-old Pomeranian. His name is Teo.
Oh my God, I remember when you got him.
Oh, he was such a little rat.
Oh. 5 years already? I cannot
Crazy.
believe it.
It's a pandemic, baby.
I know.
Oh.
I have 2 children, and one is 11, the other one's 8. And I love them both so much. They are very different, but I love them both so much.
I have 2 children, a son and a daughter. 16, my son's 16 and my daughter is 11. And I also have a doggy that will be 3 in June, and that's my baby too, Luna.
Luna.
And like I said, I have no kids, but I do have nieces and nephews that I love so much.
Yep.
20 of them.
No, I don't.
And I have 1 kid, a female, my daughter, my pride and joy, and my only heiress. She just turned 21
Oh my God.
last month, so yeah, it's a little different. Yeah, and
That's her baby. It's on soccer
and I do have 3 cats, Sox, Ash, and Zoe. They're 8, 7, and 6. So
Oh my gosh,
I'm a crazy
Sox.
cat lady. So
That's
why
why
you're-
join your team.
You're rocking the
Yeah.
cat eye look.
yeah.
I'm gonna join your team with that. I'm thinking about getting
Another one.
Well, I have 3 kids. I have 2 boys and 1 girl, and I have also 1 miscarriage. My oldest is 19, the next is 17, and my baby girl is 13. I have also a cat. Her name is Nala, and she is 9 months old. So I'm thinking about getting her a Simba. And I'll be looking at her. I'm like, I think you need Simba. And she'll be like looking at me.
Porque se llama como
Nala.
Like the
Nala.
Lion King.
Like the Lion King movie. And then I'll be looking at her and I'm like, but who's going to get me Mufasa?
Te echa ojitos. Te echa ojitos.
Yeah. She is something else. When she does something bad, and she knows she did something bad, the moment that I get there, she's laying down.
Yeah, like
They know.
Like
Nothing
she didn't do
I don't know if
anything.
you can see it, but that's the eyes que me da ella. No sé si se ve, pero
Literal
el
puppy
ojito,
eyes.
el ojito.
the side eye, like
She's like,
I'll be like looking at her. I'm like, just because you think you're laying down, I'm not gonna scream at you. But then she'll be looking at me like all like weird. I'm like,
melts
okay, fine.
it melts your heart.
Yeah, it does.
you're not gonna do anything.
No, and I don't. I just go pick up her mess.
She looks at you like, and I would do it again.
And for real. And she does.
So Lisa and I mean Lizzie, Lisa number 2,
Yeah.
whatever. We bonded again like during COVID because we both love BTS, but then we also found out we both watch Korean dramas. And so we were watching this recently Korean drama. I don't think we can say the name, but it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
El mandarino.
Las mandarinas.
Mandarinas.
Las tan mandarinas. And it's oh my God, every single episode I was crying, but not crying like, but like bawling.
Yeah.
And like mis ojos se hinchaban y I don't know, pero the like mom and daughter dynamic is like, makes me think of like how I used to act when every single age, like every kid is like different with their mom, and then you kind of find out why, but we don't have the vantage point of the parent or the daughter. We have our own point of view. So watching that novela was kind of like eye-opening, because then I was like feeling regret, feeling like mad, angry, and like for all the things I blamed my parents for that they really had no control over, and they were doing the best they could.
Right.
I'm about to cry, but so next.
I'm crying too. Oh my gosh.
I also started watching that novela because Melissa recommended it, or Meli recommended it. It is very sad. I'm watching it with my daughter, and she says, "Mom, yesterday we were gonna watch it." I said, "Are we gonna watch it?" And she says, "Mom, it's very sad." And she's like, "I don't think I want to watch it today." So I was like, "It's okay, it's okay." I was like, "We could take our time with it." But for me, what it made me see was how I'm present with my children, but how work can kind of take over sometimes, and I'm like there, but I'm not there because I work from home a lot of the time. So that made me open my eyes to that and say like, oh wow. And obviously the mom and daughter relationship, it made me see me and my daughter, but then also me and my mom, because my mom was always working too. And, you know, she wasn't around a lot when I was younger, but it was because she was working.
Yep, right.
And so, like, you know, through the years, I've navigated with that. And, you know, lots of years of therapy and lots of self-work have helped me through that. And I'm in a place now where I understand, and I'm not upset anymore. I'm not angry, because I had a lot of anger for a long time over that. But I'm on the other side, and I understand. And now that I have my children, I completely understand all the sacrifices and everything they did for me and my brothers and sisters. So, yeah, that show is deep.
It is.
It is.
Yeah, I started watching it.
Did you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
did you
nice.
watch it? No?
I'm on episode 6, I believe.
Okay.
But yeah, the first episode I
around
was
there.
crying. I'm like, what is
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
And I think it's nice that it's 3 generations,
Yes.
right?
Right.
So you see it through those, and like for you, Maria and Meli, who have a daughter, right? And Jesse, and
And
Franca, all of you have a daughter.
Yeah, we all have girls.
Yeah,
But I guess because
to
we saw the
see-
show with them. Yeah.
like how, you know, it happened to you, then you could do it to them, or how in the back of your mind you're like, well, I'm not going to do this because so and so, but then other times you're like, well, now I get why they did behave this way.
And then you remember your mom saying, vas a saber cómo se
Cuando
siente cuando tú tengas
hijos.
tuyos.
Yeah,
And
siempre,
it's true.
Decían
Yeah.
eso.
So I just started watching it, and I can definitely relate from the mom's perspective. There was a little moment when I was younger where obviously I had my daughter when I was about 17 and a half, and I, you know, was working a lot, trying to keep all these part-time jobs and trying to finish, you know, school and stuff like that. And I questioned, you know, do I fit the part? And I don't know if you guys remember, but at the beginning of the series, it talks about, you know, the daughter being put away at another family, right? So that somebody could take care of her, right?
Right.
For her better well-being, right? And I wanted for a little bit to go out to the military so that, you know, I could bring back benefits for her in the long run. And there was times where I didn't feel like I fit the part, right? Like she would be better off with my mom while I went to go find a better future for us and stuff like that. But once I got to the recruiting office and I had to sign the paperwork, like if something happened to me in war or in battle, like who would take care of her and stuff like that, and I couldn't bring myself to sign that piece of paper. So I can definitely relate to like the mom character, where it's like me raising my kid as a single mom. Pretty much her dad and I didn't work out like a year and a half in, and I knew it was it. Like I was gonna have to, you know, bear down. So there was definitely times where I was like, okay, well, I'm working so much, I'm really not spending that much time with her. And there was luckily 2 of my jobs, you know, I could bring her with, so she was, you know, helping me out, you know, doing certain things or whatever. But yeah, definitely like working a lot and being away from her, you know, I felt like I could have done things a little different. and, you know, there's a lot of regret and stuff like that. But, you know, she bloomed into such a really good girl. So I think she understood. And because our bond and our strength, you know, together, like it's us against the world kind of concept, and it's still us against the world, like till this minute, like that's our saying. So I can definitely relate to that. So don't spoil it just yet, because I'm only like in episode 3, so don't spoil it.
I'm on like 5 or 6.
I should start watching it then.
Yeah, you do, Jessie.
Ahí te pasamos el nombre al rato.
Algo nomás con mandarinas.
I think it's cool that you said that, you know, I didn't know that story that you said about the military, right? And it's a little kind of like you said right now, you have regrets, but also you have to think about like not signing that. That is something that could have altered your life completely.
Absolutely.
And like,
and I think about that all the time. I think that all the time, like what would have happened, right? And then, you know, in introverts, I also think like, what if I didn't have her? Like, where would I be if I didn't have her? Like, if God said I'm supposed to have a kid at this age or whatever, it was like meant to be. I believe like we're all in a journey and a path where we're supposed to be somewhere at a certain place at a certain time, right? So, you know, 9 times out of 10, you know, she'll ask me like, you know, where do you think you would be if you didn't have me? I'm like, I'll probably be in jail, because this attitude over here is off the chain. But
feisty.
Yeah, but I mean, we turned out okay. So, you know, against all odds. So
Sí.
I'm very proud of that, for sure.
Y lo triste es que crecen tan rápido que, like, you feel guilty. They're like, oh my God, I missed this, or I missed that. And I didn't get a chance to see this.
And I didn't do enough of this. It's just
I could have done better with that,
the
for sure.
struggle with that, for sure.
and I can only imagine when you have more than one, it's even harder, right? Because you have to split your time.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Well, my story is pretty different from all of you guys. I was raised with my mom and dad. They're still together, thank God, and I pray for them every day. But it's been going to 11 years. I haven't spoken to them. Looking back at my mom, what she didn't know any better. Esos son los típicos mexicanos del tiempo de antes, like, you have to stuck there, you have to go ahead and do this, do that. And my mom was the kind of person, se hace lo que digo yo y se hace y punto final. I don't care what you're feeling. They don't care about therapy. They laugh at you. They don't care about your feelings, or if you're feeling sad, párate y ponte a limpiar. That was her therapy. So she will get a lot of calls from school. Oh, Jessica was not here in class, but she wouldn't get the concept, Mom, I was there, but then pick up the sheet. They pick up the sheet. The school and the students knew my mother from far away already. So when they would tell me, oh, your mom is here already, I'm like, damn, again? But at the same time, I was already at home, ya me había pegado, ya me había regañado, ya me habían dicho de cosas. And I will feel bad. I will feel like kind of stupid in a way. I'm like, why am I still going through this? Why am I going through this? Why is she not accepting it? Why is she not believing me? And she will go to school and she will talk to the principal. She will talk to the teachers, all of them, all 12 teachers. And they will tell her, she was here, she was here. She never said sorry to me. Never said sorry to me. Her way of saying sorry to me was, well, we'll get home. She was there at the kitchen. ¿Tienes tarea? No. Okay, arréglate, vamos a ir a la tienda. That was her sorry. So I will go to the store and fuck yeah, I will get the expensive shit. I will always be rocking the expensive shit. But that was her way of saying sorry. And now that I have kids, I kind of get it. I went through it. Now if my kids try to do something to me or try to lie to me, I'm like, hey, I already went to high school. I know what's up.
You know,
it's not your first rodeo.
Yeah. So, but I would never do that kind of things, though. Hay cosas que te hacen tus papás. You're like, okay, I'm never going to do this to my kids. So now that my kids are growing, yeah, they don't behave good, I'm going to say, because I went through it too. You go through a phase. And the only thing that I do now is just support it. Yeah, I tell them my 2 cents. I'm like, you did wrong. Or you did this, or you did that. But I'm never going to raise a hand into my kids. That's the thing. And I always tell my daughter, si haces algo que pienses tú que me vas a hacer enojar, o que me salgas con tu domingo 7, tell me. Please tell me. I'm always going to support you. I'm always going to be there for you. I'm never going to give you my back. So every time that I see her and she looks at me, I always tell her, remember, yes, Mom, I know. Always, 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 always. I'm like, just know that I'm always going to be here for you. And I think it's more with the daughters than the guys. Porque estos hijos de la chingada más me miran y boom, bye. Quiero esto. I'm like, damn, you think I'm a bank? But with my daughter, it's different. I see her really vulnerable. I see her really...
But she's younger too.
Yeah, 13. And la miro muy sincera. No sé si porque sea mi hija, pero la miro muy niña todavía. She still plays with dolls. She still plays with her.
Yeah.
With her. I don't know. There's a game, Roblox. ¿Cómo se llama?
Yeah.
Roblox. It's just like, oh, Mom, look at this. Look at that. Look at my new thing. I'm like, I still see her like little niñita.
Yeah. Todavía quiere stuffed animals, mi niña.
Yeah.
She's
Those
11.
the round things.
Sí, those
Squishmallows.
I don't even know their names.
She's like,
Oh, this one came up new. The Easter ones are coming out. And
Yeah.
I think that's awesome though that she still has like that innocence. 'Cause I think
Yes.
right now little kids are growing up, especially girls,
Yeah.
so fast,
Yeah.
and it's like slow down. You'll have time
Yeah.
for all of that. Like you don't need to be dating at 11. Anyone, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she's coming to me right now. I've been doing hair for quite a while. I have my cosmetology license, and she came to me. She's like, I want to color my hair. And I'm like, what color were you thinking? She was like, oh, red, like you. I'm like, no. I'm like, you're going to wait for a minute. I'm like, until when? Until you're 15. I'm like, please wait until you're 15 and this and that. I'm like, give me at least a little bit of time to sink it in.
I told my daughter not till high school. I was like, because she says, Mom, when can I dye my hair? And I'm like, not for a while. I'm like, and you got to be maybe in high school. I don't even know if I'm going to be okay with it then.
Yeah, I'm like, I need to be the first one who does it. I'm like, I need to be the first one who touches your hair. I'm like, but please. I get mad when she cuts it. I'm like, oh my God, what did you do?
She has such beautiful hair.
I'm like, no. And right now, I'm like, if you want a 15, you better not cut it.
Yeah.
I'm like, quiero hacerte el peinado más puffiest with the biggest curls. I'm like, you better not cut it.
Te va a decir, that's not in style, Mom.
I don't care. I'm like, it's coming out of my pocket. I don't care. But yeah, but looking back, I don't have nothing against my parents. They did what they did. They did their best they could. No hay ningún libro que te pueda decir exactamente cómo ser un papá perfecto. No hay ningún libro como pueda enseñarte a ti cómo ser lo mejor. So I think it's life. I need to accept it. Like Maria said, I went through therapy quite a while to accept it that they didn't know best. And I get it. I do mistakes also with my kids, but I try not to do the same ones as well. I don't have nothing against them. My ex-partner once told me, because I do suffer that I'm not with them. It hurts me more in the Mother's Day or her birthday or little things like that. And there was one time that I was crying, and I always try to cry like in silent, so nobody like be looking at me like, why are you crying? Or to question me. I don't like it. And there was this time that he looked at me. He's like, oh, día de mañana que se muera, no te quiero ya llorando, que esto y el otro. And I looked back and I told him, I'm like, you know what? Of course I'm going to cry. They're my parents. Pero la diferencia es que mi conciencia está limpia. Está tranquila. Yo sé que no hice nada malo. And I'm still waiting for them to go ahead and put their pride aside in a way to look for me. Because I got tired of so many years, me, the one asking for forgiveness when it was not my fault. And I think getting to a point, it's pretty sad. I know a lot of people are not going to rely to me or be like, oh my God, deja tu orgullo. It's not orgullo. I know that it's not, because I know if the day they will come to me, I will go ahead and openly arms accept it. But mi conciencia, mi tranquilidad está limpia. Yo sé que no hice nada. Yo sé que no somos perfectos. But I just got tired. Tired of years and years of saying sorry and sorry for not being my fault.
Yeah.
So you just get to that point, you're like, nobody's going to understand it. It's so easy for another person to judge or to point at you. But I just got tired. And I'm like, you know what? I think is this the best? And it's pretty sad, because the moment that I decided, you know what, this is it, I started being happy.
Yeah. And it's like you had to do that for yourself, right? And like set that boundary, like enough is enough. I have to put myself first.
I know it's sad. I hate it when I say it, but I was happy. Yep.
Tranquilidad, you felt?
Yes,
Peace.
it's pretty fucked
Yeah.
up, but yes, I did.
Yeah.
Good. Como es like we're the generation that's trying to break
Those cycles, the
cycles,
generational
generational
cycles.
trauma.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I guess for me, I mean, I don't have human children, right? So I don't really have anything to relate in terms of that. In terms of my parents, I think my parents, they have very different parenting styles between my mom and my dad. My dad continues to be very much a provider, not really emotional, and my mom is a little bit more both. She definitely is the emotional, but also too provider. And I think being the first generation oldest daughter, there's so much around that. It's tough. I think and then it becomes this thing where it's like, oh, well, you're so good at it, so do this. And I'm like, but why does it always have to be me?
Yeah,
It
right.
just
Why
feels
do I-
like, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
God, can someone else, like, I just
Yeah.
want one day for somebody to, like, I'll do it.
Step in, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like some help.
And
because
it's true. It's
yeah.
so true what you're saying, because I think the first child of the Mexican parents is the one who takes the most.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can relate to you. I'm pretty sure.
I can relate.
Yeah.
I'm the
Uh,
oldest as well.
I mean, I'm not the oldest, but my brother got married pretty young. So I was left. Oh my God, I'm going to cry.
Oh,
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
She took care of us.
Yeah.
Me and my younger brother. Like our parents were always
Yes, you had
working.
to grow up early.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our parents were always working, and so most of the time, I didn't even see my dad. My mom, casi tampoco. So it was like after school, it was like, como se dice, everybody's game or whatever.
Right,
Everybody
yeah.
was in their own little world. But she was there watching us, and I don't know. I feel like she was my younger brother's mom in a way, because I wouldn't listen to anyone, but like she used to take care of him like a lioness, and I think she still does. But I don't know. Our parents were. I felt most of the time neglected, and since she was the oldest daughter, I feel like they had her on a pedestal that I could never like be up there with her. So that's why I don't know, like when we were growing up, we weren't really the best of friends, if you want to say something like that. But it was mostly because of that, because I feel like, oh my God, I'm getting all these good grades. I'm trying to do my best so I could get acknowledged or like, yay, Melly. But to my mom, I feel like my sister and my mom have like the best relationship, because they're like best friends. They used to go out to eat together, go shopping. They love all that.
But I think that came afterwards. Obviously, when you were like in 20s, I started going out a lot with my friends during I think I was like 25. And that created some type of friction, parents, you can't come in late, you can't go out.
And
blah,
you're like
blah.
25.
Exactly. But I was still living at home, But it does create some type of like friction, and they telling you what to do, and yo estoy old enough, I can do what I want. No, mientras vivas en mi,
Es que tú te revelaste way later than I did.
Yes, exactly. For me, that came after I think they were grown up.
Yeah. You were like, okay, it's time.
Yeah.
Porque like
And
her
I
mother
me solté el pelo y
Yeah.
salí.
You wanted to live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't
And
have
then
the
yes,
opportunity.
I can say right now, my mom is my best friend. I can tell her anything.
That's beautiful. Melissa, are you the middle child? I'm just wondering.
Yeah, I'm the
Because
neglected
I'm the middle.
one.
Yeah, I
I'm the middle of
I
my
was gonna tell you,
sisters,
I think
so I can definitely understand that. I feel neglected.
Yeah.
I feel very lonely sometimes
Yes.
because my little sister, she's the little one, so it's like, she's the little one. So
Everybody
and then
loves
the
them.
older one, it's like, my mom's like, we went through so much, coming from Mexico to the United States. I feel like she puts my older sister and my two older brothers very high up because they went through all of that together. So then it's like growing up was very lonely for me because it was, like I said, my mom, my little sister were like 7 years apart. So it was totally like, I honestly like didn't have anyone. I grew up with my older sister because she was always taking care of me too, and picking me up from school and doing everything because my parents were always working. So like I understand that because, and like my mom, like still like I'll go and spend time with them, and she'll be like, oh, and, you know, she'll bring her up, and she's like, oh, I wish you would have came. And I'm like,
I'm here.
and then they're like always together because she lives close, you know. So I'm like, can we just enjoy this time together?
Y yo creo que por eso también I wasn't the best of friends with my sister because I saw her
Tenía
as
uno
a
coraje.
motherly
Yeah.
figure where I couldn't be like, oh, if I tell her this, she's gonna get me in trouble.
And,
Like,
and my
you know,
older
I couldn't be
sister used
open.
to tell on me.
Yeah.
So then I was like run from her because when I started getting to a certain age, like I was a teenager, you know, or 14, 15, then she started like telling on me, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to have anything to do with you because you tell on me, and it was like big stuff. So that was hard, and I'm 40 now, and I still have I struggle with all of this still. You know, some days are a little bit better than other days, and you know, sometimes I feel like I wish my mom would call me more. She can't come because I know she doesn't drive, so she can't drive to come see me, and she, you know, she can't do that. But you know, I feel like I gotta be the one to call all the time and see how they're doing, and you know, and check up, and that gets to me sometimes. Yesterday I was talking to her, and like I could feel it in myself, and I could feel it in my tone that I feel like closed off because I'm like, oh, you haven't called me. Like I gotta call you. I haven't talked to you in a week, and
you know
so,
she's calling your sister. No, I'm just
like no, like they're always talking, and you know, maybe my sister's always calling her too, but it is hard. It's really
Maria,
hard, like navigating all of
now
that.
that you took this subject, I'm going to tell you something what my mom told me once, because I did question her. With my sister, we're 2 years apart. I'm the oldest, but I always tell her, I'm like, Mom, why are you always looking for my sister? I need you too. When she got married and I was married and we had kids, I'm like, why is it that you're always like looking for her? Why is she, when she has a problem, you're always looking, oh, your sister's going through this, we need to help her. I'm like, I'm going through things too. I'm going through something too. Why didn't you help me in here with this and that? For a Mexican mother to tell me this, I feel like probably is going to you as well, because she's like, tú eres fuerte, Jessica.
Es lo que me dice siempre.
Tú eres fuerte, Jessica.
Yeah.
Y sea como sea, tú te las encuentras, te las hallas, y yo sé que vas a estar bien. Pero tu sister se mira más fuerte que tú, se mira más like, o más inteligente que así el otro.
Pero
But she needs me more.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but it's fucked up though.
Yeah.
But do you think? Oh, sorry. That she's like that because they made her like that, and they made you strong, right? So they kind of caused that.
Yeah, because like you said, I wish I could have got a phone call from my mother.
Yeah.
Because I was the only one calling her. I'm like, hey, what's up? What you're doing today? And this and that.
Yeah.
Let's go
I
out
was
to
like,
breakfast.
Or when I would
feels
see a call from my mother, it was because she needed me to go ahead and drive because they have their own business company. So she needed me. She was not feeling well. There's the time when I will get a call. Drop everything, Jessica. Call off at work. I need you here.
Right.
I had to go over there, drive, do this, do that. So it was me.
Yep.
Now you say that, it's because like for me it's like I have my husband. Like you're good. Like he takes care of you. You know, you guys are good. You know, you're okay. So like that's like, you know, she has said that to me. Like you have him, you know, to help you and take, you know, whatever. But it's
I understand what you're feeling though.
And I know I understand.
But I remember my mom telling me that. I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. And it's fucked up because I will be the one more getting beat on. I was the one getting more yelled at. I was getting the more everything. Because there was one time my smallest brother was going to school. We were already grown up. He got a call because they call you from when you were not in class or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, you're going to get in trouble. And I told my mom, like, what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, amor, sí estaba allí, pero le llamaron. Y que like,
I can definitely relate to
wait.
that.
They started getting soft, right?
Wait.
As we got older,
through
and
4 years
they
of
had it
hell.
good because they had it good.
And this concept trying to, for you to understand, you got it till now? I'm like, oh, hell no.
And so throw in there the boy mother daughter, the mother son in Mexican household dynamic. There's a whole other thing there.
Hold
too.
up, wait a minute. I got something to say. So I'm the oldest of 5, right? I'm the me and my brother are about a year and a half apart, but then there's a big gap between my brother and my younger siblings, right? So between my brother and my next sister, there's like a 13-year gap, and then from there, there's like another 7-year gap. It's just my mom couldn't conceive, and there was something wrong with her back. Whatever. So I can definitely relate when you guys say, the oldest gets like hammered and like you have to be responsible. You have to take care of your brother. No puedes ir si no va tu hermano contigo, right? Kind of stuff or whatever. And it sucks because as the older one, you are the guinea pig, right? Nobody, especially in Hispanic, and I know you guys can relate. Your parents can't help you with homework once you get to a certain grade, right? And as the oldest kid, you are the guinea pig to make the mistakes, make the errors. You have a last name with an A, which you go first in everything, and then you make yourself look like an ass, and then like the rest of the people are like behind you last name wise when you're in school, right? So everything was like you look dumb, and then everybody else got like the easier, right? Now my parents are older. Obviously, my siblings get away with stuff that I would have never even thought to even start or do because I would have been, hit with a chancla, right? Or with the belt, right?
Yeah, it's true. 'Cause when my mom got that call, getting my popcorn ready and everything, and nope,
nothing happens. No, yeah, so
nothing.
Like it's going down y nada.
Nada.
Yeah.
Ahora se me quemó el pinche palomitas, pero no.
Absolutely. So when obviously, like I said, when I got pregnant or whatever, I had, that cultural like, well, ya abriste las patas, so now you're going to have to take care of it, right? And the last thing I needed was for like my mom's sisters, my aunts and stuff to be like, oh, échala a la calle porque es una puta or whatever, right?
No.
So
They always say that.
Yeah, right.
Horrible.
So I moved out of my house at a little bit under 18 years old, hustled, right? Did what I had to do to survive or whatever. And I remember this one counselor at school saying, we're going to try to put you on track to graduate early, which I did. I only went to high school 3.5 years. She's like, but like, she was like a counselor, but she was like, kind of like a crappy one because she was like, oh, well, the likelihood of you having another kid, before the age of 25 is highly likely. Hispanics have a statistic that
stereotyping us. Huh?
Yeah. So, she would like give me all these like brochures or whatever, like, you probably likely not to finish high school. You're probably likely not to finish college. You're probably likely to, have more children and whatever. And it dawned on me one day. I was like, okay, well, yes, I made a mistake, quote unquote, right? But I refused to not finish school, which I finished high school early.
Good job.
I'm working on my master's right now, so fuck you.
Yeah.
And
the teacher, the counselor.
In
your face.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so and then I only have one kid, and I like to say, kidding around, I made that mistake once, never doing that again. But it just I knew what I was getting myself into once I put my mind down to it, and I was like, I'm not going to have any more kids, right? We're going to, try to take care of ourselves. And I went through crappy relationships, right? Much like, Jesse and stuff like that. So, but, it got done. But that whole, parenting, they don't support you like you wish they would have and stuff like that. That freaking sucked a lot of the times, right? So like Liz said, like my dad was the provider. My mom was a homemaker, right? And they were there, but not there. My dad was very absent, right? It was all about work. And my mom was all about the house and the other kids. And as the older one is like, oh, well, she has it. So she'll take care of it, she'll figure it out. But then everybody else was well taken care of, right? And I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. So
Like
but
I always say, I got me.
It will suck for us. They will find out everything.
Yeah.
Everything will find out.
So
But it's so heartbreaking to hear that the counselor, right? That's their
yeah.
job. Because she could have used that data to be like, but you're not going to do this. So let's push you to not
or
be
like
that
not even
stereotype.
bring that up to a teenager.
Right.
That's horrible.
I think the best thing she did for me was she like made me independent as a student so that I could register myself for school because of course at home all doors were closed for me, right? As soon as I said I was pregnant, my mom's like, well, a ver cómo le vas a hacer para registrarte a la escuela. Yo ya no te voy a pagar la escuela. Yo no te voy a comprar útiles. Yo no sé cómo le vas a hacer or whatever, right? So I was like trying to, I remember I worked at Boston Market for like a little bit. I was trying to get money together for my PE shirt, right? And stuff like that. And then I didn't even need that PE shirt because they took me out of that and they put me in like childhood classes or whatever because I was pregnant my senior year. But, stuff like that. So the best thing that she did for me is to make me independent. And then after doing that, I could register myself. I could, they weren't getting like the attendance calls anymore or anything like that because I was an independent student or whatever. So I think that's like the only great thing she did for me. And other than that, and like pretty much shit on me. And then I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm going to prove you wrong. So
I will say that, even if, how it's been, our relationship dynamic, like both my parents have always been there for me and like my siblings, like, even if, they were always working and everything, I know, like, there was a time that, like, and even still, like, I could talk to my mom about anything, I could go to her with anything and she will be there for me. My dad will be there for me. Like, I feel like they've supported, like, anything pretty much that I'll do, even when things are, like, crazy ideas and stuff. But my dad was always like, like, dándome consejos. It was tough, it was tough love, but that stuff, like, was, like, instilled in my mind, was, like, you need to go to school, tienes que acabar la escuela. What are you doing after high school? He made sure that he told me, like, you need to do something with your life. So that was always, like, in my mindset, like, I need to do something. So he even, like, paid for like a program that I did because I was going to school and I wasn't doing the best. I was in a program and I like was not making it there, so I had to take another course and do like a training. I did like a medical assistant training, and he like paid for that. Like he was giving me like the money to pay for that and I was still living at home with him. I was like 18, but he was giving me the money for that. So I will say, like, they've always been supportive. So, like I said, it's always, I guess it's balanced out, like I see like all the hard work, and everything they've done for me and our family. But and we're all grateful for that because he's pushed all of us to go to school and do something. He did it even with like my siblings. Like he never turned his back on us. Yeah. And I was a tough teenager.
And it's very clear that we're not bashing our parents.
Of course.
Right? We're very appreciative,
yeah.
and we have gratitude for what they did with what they had.
Of course.
And they were also, learning along with us growing up, right? So it's important to say that, they weren't bad parents. It's just things could have been done a little bit different.
Yeah, and these are our experiences, These are our stories that we're sharing.
Oh, no.
It's
and a lot
obviously,
of them, if not all, in a foreign country.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So on top of that,
Donde los
You're
papás
right.
tampoco
not the same language.
You're right.
Yeah. Right.
Imagine what they were like dealing with. I mean, we already have it tough, right?
Yeah.
Us.
Yep.
But like imagine them like
Less
dealing with
resources.
all of that.
Not
Like,
only that, but also feeling like, damn, like I'm at a point where now my kid, I can't even help my own kid with school stuff or whatever because like, pregúntale a tu prima or whatever because she's the oldest one. I'm like, she's dumb too. Like she can't help me with algebra. Like, so yeah.
Yeah, no. It's
But the day
tough.
that I was able to go to snitch on my sister, I had the happiest day ever.
The time of your life.
Fuck yeah, I did.
Do you remember the day it was?
What'd she do? Tell us.
No, but
She's like, no,
it's always like that because I will always get catch or
You would get caught.
siempre me atrapaban en la pinche movida y I will get, pues sí me regañaban y todo. But I will never snitch on my sister.
That's
never.
nice.
Yeah.
I'm like, pues tu hija. Y yo en mi mente, pues tu hija se fue con la madrina, pero la madrina se escapó de la casa y se fue con el novio. Nunca le dije. Never.
I know I always kept all the secrets también. That's
Pero
why, like,
the moment that she
damn.
will get, cuando la cachaban a ella sí parecía un pinche violín.
Los secretos.
Cantaba todo. And it will suck. I'm like, damn.
That's how
Why do I have a sister like this?
Yeah, and I was like, man, I always had your bag. Why can't you have my bag?
No, it's fucked
your fault.
up.
Why did you tell him?
No, because now that there was one time, I think it was there was a holiday. Everybody, my mom would do holidays, and everybody will go over. So her now husband, it was the boyfriend at that time. Fue a la casa y esto hizo y esto. And I was like, ¿qué? I'm like, y sí, cuando se iba con la madrina y tú pensabas que tu hija era la perfecta, se escapaba de ahí y se iba con él.
Damn. After the fact.
You're like, how you like that?
El
Yeah.
otro, ¿cómo?
What's she
I'm
going
like,
now?
yep. Ya, pues sí. ¿Qué iban a hacer ahora? Pero I'm like, a ver, y yo era la que siempre. And now looking back, I didn't do not half of the things she did.
For sure. Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
seriously?
On that note,
Yeah.
I just found out maybe a little bit before her 21st birthday, she's like, Mom, she's like, I'm going to tell you something because you can't do nothing about it no more. That's literally how that started.
Oh, hell no.
I was like, what did you do? She's like, I had a fake ID. And I was like, I didn't even have a fake ID. She's like, yeah. She's like, but then I went to a club at Boys Town in Chicago or whatever, and the bouncer noticed that it was a fake one because he scanned it. And he's like, don't do it again. And he took it away, so he confiscated it. And I was like, and this, you're telling me this 2 days before your 21st birthday? Like, I would never.
Y la dejaron entrar,
Yeah,
¿no?
like,
¿Sí?
no, they
Se la quitaron.
They
I had a fake ID,
but she had it for like 2 years. I'm like,
I had that for years, man. I would go in everywhere, and it was a school ID at
I
that.
could never see. I was.
They would let me in,
And I thought I was bad. I wouldn't even bring
I
myself
was
to like
bad.
anything police. Like if I'm getting arrested or something because I have a fake, I'm not even thinking about it.
I was sweating and everything in the line. I was like, oh my God.
I never got a fake ID.
I can imagine Maria in the line. Just,
I never got in a fake ID.
Para entrar a los bailes.
No.
I never got in a fake ID.
Yeah, I had one. And
No, but you know what? The funny thing is, if I can go back, shit.
You would.
right?
Pero yo le tenía un pinche miedo a mi madre que wow.
No,
And it was so, if you think about it now, you would have gone away with so many things without technology back then, right? Even when I see these,
I did, yeah.
I see these shows like, when DNA didn't exist, I'm like, you know how much people could have gotten away with, like if they knew, but we can't go back in time with this mentality, right?
Yeah.
Because we
No,
would
pero
destroy some
sí,
shit.
yo le tenía un pinche miedo a mi mamá. No, es que luego, mira, they will give us half days in school.
Dude.
But I'm like, okay, so for me, the first year was fine. I didn't have to go home. Pero cuando mi hermana tuvo que ir a la high school conmigo, I'm like, fuck.
Ahí estaba.
I'm like, I don't wanna go home. I'm like, what are you gonna do? Well, I need to go home. I'm like, fuck, now I need to carry her with me.
So ella andaba contigo.
Ahí andaba conmigo porque no quería ir a la casa al half day. Pero ya cuando se enojaba, esta luego era,
She would just
parecía
rat you.
perequito.
Damn.
I'm like,
¿Para qué la hacías enojar?
And was anybody like the family babysitter? Because growing up, I was the family babysitter.
I mean, mine was just like, take your brother with you.
Which was nice. Yeah.
no, ni a mí me dejaron ni salir.
I never went to
my
a school
nieces and
dance or nothing.
nephews
Ni
with
yo.
me.
No,
Yeah.
tampoco yo.
Yeah.
Siempre andaban conmigo. Yo iba a ver a mi novio. Y ahí andaba my niece, my
Oh,
nephew, my little
I'm
sister.
talking
Iba
about
yo
that.
con una línea.
Yeah.
I would go to my cousin's
Mira,
house.
yo
and-
tenía un perro. Ese pinche perro caminó más que nunca este güey. Sí,
You're like,
él
tiene
ya,
que salir.
ya pasó para heaven, pero ese perro no puede ir a decir allá que no caminó. Porque ese perro era literally. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go caminar al perro. E iba
Ya
around the
ibas.
block to meet the boyfriend and everything and be there for like half an hour with him or
Yo
10
decía,
minutes.
vamos a ir a la
And I would go
tiendita.
back and everything. Y el perro estaba like resting for half an hour. Iban grabbing the dog again. Pero ir a ver al esposo ahora.
That was your excuse. Gonna walk the dog.
Walk the dogs.
Y nosotros
Like,
íbamos a la
it
tienda.
was walk the
a
dog.
la
That
tienda
dog walked a
para ir a
lot.
agarrar
Yeah, whatever.
paletas or
Yeah.
whatever.
Seriously, at the end, he didn't want to walk anymore. He's like, hell no.
It's like, girl, I'm tired.
Go on your own.
I'm gonna go spend the night at my cousin's house, and my cousin's like, "Hurry up before my mom wakes up." I'm like, okay, leave the house and come back.
It was funny.
One thing you guys said that I can't relate to as an older one is I didn't have to take care of my siblings. Because the second one, or the middle one, he's only like a year and almost 2 years younger. So we're kind of in the same boat. And the other one was 10 years later. And even though that 10 years, I do want to say I appreciate, and going back to like not bashing, that I maybe more now as an adult, sometimes I'll be like, oh, okay, well, he's young, even though he's not young. And treat him like my little brother, that I'll care for him in some things. But as a young person, I'm like, kudos to you guys, because I cannot imagine like everything you're already going through, and then also like this little person that's following you around that you have to take care of and
but
take
it-
places.
it's
Yeah.
just-
That was a lot.
No, you know, the thing also that I got a lot of pride from, it was when we get the records from school. Don't you see they give you the records for school, like to see how many grades from
Like your report card?
report
Yeah,
card?
the report card.
So we compare all four. Who was the best one? Right here. Right here. I only got one D, and that was in PE. In senior high school, because
Porque no se ponía el uniforme.
no, that was
No querías sudar.
the door when the PE was like the lot where the student will park, and they would tell me, let's go out.
Te ibas.
I me iba. And I was gonna.
No le decían dos veces. Okay.
Fuck yeah.
Nomás salíamos de la puerta y ya.
And I was the best one, and so my mom, you see? I had A, B's, and C's, only one D and P. And then I was going to get an F. I was going to flunk PE. Y como siempre me llevo yo bien con los maestros, así como ando yo, y le tiro desmadre y los hago reír y todo eso. I'm like, come on, Patty, you know my mom, she's gonna fucking beat my ass.
She's gonna hang me.
And when I told him that, he was like, I don't want Miss Maria to come here. I'm like, exactly.
Like, just a passing grade. Just a passing.
And he was like, okay, do 100 jumping jacks. I'm like, damn, why so many?
You better jump.
And you did
like, no, hold on. And he's like, well, 100 jumping jacks or 100 pull-ups. I'm like, can I get some support? So ahí estaba yo y como otros 3 amigos, dale cabrones. 20 cada una, yo hago lo demás.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Y así me pasó la clase.
Dang. My parents were very, very strict. Like growing up, like I couldn't do anything.
Me too.
Me too. You know, and you know, I get it. Like I get it now that I have kids. I'm like, damn, I don't want my kids to leave the house without me. But my dad was so strict.
Yeah.
That when I went to high school and I was a freshman and I had all that freedom, oof, I went crazy. I was like, oh, I don't have to go to school today, you know. I would just take the day off. And, you know, my parents, they would get calls and they would, you know, find out. But I never got my butt whooped.
I did.
I got my ass whooped.
Way more than any of my siblings.
The older
For
one?
sure.
Yeah.
Hasta para el grado que una vez que mi mamá estaba ahí en Streamville High School. And she went, and I'm like, and I'm telling you the truth, but the day before, que eres una mentirosa y tus papás nunca te bajan de puta.
Yes.
I don't know why.
Yeah, nomás andas de berraca. I hated that word.
I'm like, I don't even know. I wouldn't even know what they're talking about. I lost my virginity when I was 18. When they will tell me those kind of things, I'll be like, what the fuck are they talking
I'm not even
about?
out here like that. Yeah.
Es que antes era todo más bonito.
Es que antes, ya en México se juntaban que de 15, 14, pues ya pensaban que nosotros ya éramos expertas.
Yeah, so there was one time that, again, she went to school and she talked to all the teachers. She even will look at the fucking cameras, bro. Así le tenían un pinche miedo a mi mamá. Hasta las maestras, girl.
There were times that I was like,
funny.
for sure, esta vez. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. You go.
No, I was just going to say, there was times que I was like, for sure, man, hoy me va a venir una. I'm going to get it today. And nothing. I would be like,
Nice.
So it was.
Yeah. My daughter, recently, we got a phone call. Well, 2 phone calls one from the assistant principal and the other one from the principal. And it's like, I wanted to lose my shit at the moment, but the good thing is she was at school and I was like millions of miles away. But when they were telling me, I was like, I'm like, I know my daughter. She was probably just playing around. So the situation was where there was an incident with her chasing a kid or whatever, you know, and I'm like, then I got so mad because I'm like, oh, they're trying to say she's like not mentally right, or, you know. But then I remembered, I'm like, I told her, whenever someone's trying to intimidate you or whatever, just act crazy. So then I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God, yo la hice que será esto.
Ape shit
She
crazy.
was like,
She went off of your advice.
She went Tarzan on that motherfucker.
She's like, you told us we can defend ourselves.
Go crazy.
I'm like, para que los espantes.
Wow. He said, se quiten y se vayan.
But then I'm like, pobrecita. And I also wanted to check the video footage and all that, but for some reason they said que no la tenían. Pero I just wanted to see her, like, cómo actúa in her, like, her own little environment, how she can defend herself. No era de que la quería ver para regañarla, you know.
I'm pretty sure they have the video, but they're not allowed to show it to you.
Because they were like, we gotta blur some faces and whatever. So I was like, whatever, it's fine.
They can get sued. Now working for the school,
like, I was like, pobrecita, like, I don't know, her hormones are everywhere now that, like, she's going through that phase, but I feel like I'm like a bad mom for not, I don't know, I just feel like I talk and talk to her, like, what my mom didn't do for me, I'm trying to do for her, but at the same time, it's like, am I doing too much? And then she's still pushing away, where there's, like, I don't know the balance. Y como dijeron, we don't have a freaking manual to tell us, oh, do this, oh, do that. So I'm like, sometimes I just like cry myself to sleep because I'm like, am I putting the wrong ideas in her head, and then she goes and acts out because of me.
No. Don't ever feel that way. Don't ever be thinking you're a bad mom. No. I don't think nobody is raised to be perfect or anything that way. I think it's okay to step back a little bit to let her be. Let her be her own person. Let her be freely. Y ya si ella necesita ayuda, yo sé que va a venir a ti a buscarte para un consejo para que la ayudes. But if you're feeling that way, you shouldn't. I don't think... I will never doubt myself either, because it happens to me too when I talk to my daughter. Como que quieres meterle todo en la cabeza, pero que lo entienda.
Que entiendan. Like, they hear it, but they don't
Pero ya cuando me queda viendo raro, I'm like, but wait, why am I telling her this kind of thing if she's not even going through it?
Yeah.
So she's going to forget it.
My sister always says I tell her way too many things she's not even supposed to.
I feel like it's so, for me, because I'm very open with my kids, so I feel like it's so good that you're so open with her. And you telling her to defend herself and to, take care of herself, because it's a hard world out here. So we need to tell our children, like, you need to defend yourself. You need to, obviously, I used to always say, like, I don't want you out there fighting. But it's like you talking to her and giving her that advice is, and I get it, like if there's a little bit of a balance, but that is going to stay with her forever. And she's always, ahorita, she's going through,
changes.
Her changes and everything. But I feel like it's so good that you're so open with her and that you talk to her so much.
No, yo sí les digo, los cabrones, si te buscaron y que sepa yo que perdiste, me las pagas tú en la casa. Da el puto putazo bueno si te buscaron a ti. Yo no quiero que vayas a buscar. Pero si te buscaron a ti, ahora sí agárrese.
My 16-year-old son, he always says, Mom, stop. Like, just making me feel like I'm doing too much sometimes. But I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'm always going to be that person that's going to be talking to you. Like, I'm always going to be here. I'm never going to shut up. Yeah. Like, my mouth is, I'm always going to be giving you advice, telling you this, telling you that, because you need that. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm just gonna do that, and I do it in a good way. Like, we have a good relationship, and some days we don't. but I'm just like, no, like, I'm gonna tell you how it is, and you're gonna hear me.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to us, being the generation that is healing, right? Healing ourselves, healing our parents, et cetera, right? Because we come from families that it was easier to brush things under the rug, right? Yes. Don't speak about it, right? Calladitas se ven más bonitas, right? Yeah. Sí, no, ¿qué va a decir la gente, right? And nowadays we're like, no, if somebody's doing something to you and you don't want that to be done to you, speak up. Yes. Defend yourself. For sure. Ask for help, right? Yes. And that's acceptable today. Back then it's like, nada más no le voy a decir a nadie, like,
no le vamos a decir a nadie en esto, like,
right? And there's the trauma, and there's the trauma, and it's like, okay, well, I'm not gonna say nothing. My mom told me not to say anything, and then now you're carrying this big load on your shoulders because you're scared to say something to your parents because they told you not to, right?
So no, primas don't ever feel that way. Never. No. You're not alone on this.
No.
There's a lot of us. I question myself too. I'm pretty sure Flaca does too. Maria.
Y más de no defenderse, like, I don't know if you guys have heard que a las mujeres que se llaman a las niñas, they're watching them, right? So if they bump into them and the girl's like, oh, sorry, they know that's somebody that's not going to fight back. Somebody that's not going to, they're more submissive. They're more like okay. Whereas somebody who, exactly. Somebody who's gonna react like that, they're not gonna go for it.
Because she's gonna cause chaos and be like, "What is that?"
Like, no, I mean,
defending herself. I imagine the scene in the movie Tarzan when he's young, when he like roused all up by the little apes or whatever.
When she said that, and I was like in her habitat. She wanted to see her in her habitat.
Yeah, I did.
She said environment.
Mean Girls.
A habitat sounds like a section in the zoo. Like,
that's what came to my mind.
But that's what they were trying to paint for me. I was like, this is hilarious. This is like,
eso es lo que te estabas diciendo.
Like, when I was on the phone with them, the first thing I did was laugh. And
Principal's
I'm like,
I see where the problem comes from.
It's coming from the mother. Like, I'm sorry. I'm like, she acts like that. And they're like, no, she doesn't. And I'm like, well, I live with her, so the fuck?
Yeah, like, I know my kid. I know. I'm trying to tell me about my kid.
She gets rowdy when she gets rowdy. And and then my second child, he's just polar opposites. He's like the nervous one, more afraid of trying things, homebody. He's just scared of everything. And again, my sister tells me it's because of me, because I give them so much information about the real world that it creates anxiety in him. And then I'm like, I messed this one up too. Like,
take 3.
No, but he is very anxious. Was it a couple weeks ago when we had the tornado? We had to run to the basement, and he's freaking out down there, saying prayers, and am I gonna die? And I'm like, no, just breathe. If anything happens, maybe the first, second floor will blow out, but that's it.
Yeah.
Nomás eso le dijiste.
Your squishmallow's gonna fly, but that's about it.
We'll stay here.
Ahí va a ir tu cama.
He's 8 years old. Come on. He shouldn't be thinking about that.
But I think that boils
No,
down to personality.
si yo estoy al lado tuyo y tú me dices eso a
Yeah.
mí, no, se me quitan las inches rapidito.
less
Me siento
information.
más segura.
Yeah,
Then-
a little bit less.
For him personally
See?
versus, because you can't also tell like,
Every time.
who is who, right? You're not going to make him be a musician, right? But maybe likes the limelight and maybe, encourage that for her.
Yeah.
You know?
You encourage their
Yeah.
strength.
Yes.
Yeah.
If he's introverted, then he's probably gonna be a poet. Who knows?
It's
A
okay,
painter.
yeah.
Who knows?
It's okay.
Don't ever feel
He's
that
gonna
way.
stay with mom and dad all the
Yeah.
time.
He's gonna live with you till you're 40.
That's what he
They
says.
say-
Eso me dice que no se quiere casar, no se va a mudar, se va a quedar ahí siempre con nosotros. And I'm
Y
like,
tú
"Well,
dile, está
we're gonna
bien.
die."
Está bien. No, tú dile, está bien. He's going to
Yeah.
change his mind as he's getting older, but I
I
I
hope
just be
so.
like, okay, yeah, that
Yeah,
sounds good.
and make sure
Starts
the
that
lawn
sounds
is mowed.
good.
Yeah, that's what I told him because he said he wants to be outside laying on the grass.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but who's gonna cut it? Oh, and he starts saying, oh.
Yeah, but don't ever feel like that, prima. Just let them be a little bit. Haz lo que pienses por ellos mismos solos. Mira, como mi hijo mayor, yo le doy tantos consejos a ese. Even his dad. We came from a background cuando había lo de las gangas, había cosas, the weed y todo eso. Pregúntame a mí si agarraron consejo mío de él. Nope.
Algo que decía mucho tu mamá in our soccer practices, cada cabeza es un mundo. And that saying stuck with me because you're
My
right.
mother.
Tu mamá siempre dice
señora.
eso.
Oh, doñita.
God
Damn
bless
it.
No, but it's true. It's true. And I have realized that too. And right now that you said, I just want to give them so much information because like you're a kid. You want them to be safe. No quieres que sufran, no quieren que no te preparen. Y es lo que le digo yo a mi hija. Porque ahorita que no lo veo con mis papás, yo siempre le digo a mi hija, la miro tan inocente que yo sé que el día de mañana puede meter la pata. Yo he estado allí. Yo sé que se va a enamorar. Yo sé que pues, se va a ilusionar. No quiero que salga con ese domingo 7, pero si sale, yo le he dicho a mi hija, look for me. I know that I'm going to be upset. Don't be scared to tell me. We're going to go through it. I'm never going to leave you alone. Pero dándole ese comfort a ella, pero ya le avisé, hey, ya te dije que es malo, ya te dije que es el otro. Pero si es que pase, don't ever feel scared. Don't ever feel this way. Look for me. I'm always going to be here for you. Y eso es lo que yo siempre le recuerdo cada vez que la miro. Siempre, siempre, siempre. I'm like, remember our talk? Yes, I know.
I think that's important. I always tell my kids, I don't care where you're at. I don't care what you think, like, oh my God, no, I can't call her. Me metí en esto, you know, and I'm like, please call me.
That's all.
I will pick you up. I won't say anything.
Right.
Like, please, I just want you to be safe.
Right.
I'm like, please just call me. I don't care where you're at.
Sí, y es lo que yo también pienso porque yo a mi hijo mayor, the other day he called me at 3 in the morning. I got scared.
That is scary.
And the thing is that I always put my phone on silent.
Me
And that
too.
day,
No, yo no.
siempre tengo la pinche mañana de poner mi
Yo
phone on silent. Y
también.
más porque me despierto
Yo
bien temprano
también.
del
Me too.
trabajo. Pero mi phone, yo siempre lo pongo boca abajo. Pero ese día se quedó boca arriba. Entonces, Nala, como duerme conmigo, cuando mira una luz o lo que sea, ella piensa que es la alarma. So, ella escuchando la alarma piensa, okay, mom is gonna wake up already. And she attacks me. She does. She attacks me. She starts going up on me, back and forth, hasta que me levante.
Levántate, mom.
Entonces, ella misma vio la luz. I'm like, but the alarm hasn't sounded yet. And I'm like, what the fuck?
She went, pa, wake up.
So, I'm thankful for that. Entonces, ya cuando dije, I had a missed call. And then I call him back. I'm like, what's wrong? Are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm like, and I heard his voice. I'm like, ya metió la pata este cabrón. I'm like, ¿qué pasó? Can you sell me $80? And I heard that amount. I'm like, plan B.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And I'm like, you serious? Because I didn't have a rapper, this and that. I'm like...
But that's nice that he can call you and say
I
that.
want to be a grandma yet.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'll go
20 is too young to be a grandma.
Yes.
30, she said.
She
Yo
said
tengo
30.
30.
Pero qué confianza tiene él contigo to
Y
go to
entonces
you.
I'm like, and he's like, please don't tell dad. I'm like, okay. But he did. After like a 7 or 8, he texted me. He's like, what did you sell money? Oh, he needed gas money. I felt bad for him, not knowing what part he'll find out now. But Ta-da-da-da. But I felt good, even though I could have gotten upset.
Yeah.
I could have gotten more angry at him and whatever. And I just told him like, here's the money. I sent him the 100. I'm like, please let me know when you get home.
Yep. I felt that feeling when I saw my daughter. Like, I saw a couple signs of her being sexually active, and I'm like, okay, it's time. And I was like, I don't want you. This is tu Domingo 7, right? I was like, all right, let's talk about birth control. Let's put you together with a PCP, right? And you're going to have to go to the doctor, and they're going to check you some stuff. And, you know, if you want to be doing that, you got to be responsible, right? And those conversations are hard, and you will not look forward to that, and nothing prepares you for it. But it has to be done because our parents didn't do it.
Our parents did not do that.
No.
Let me tell you why I couldn't use tampons when I got my periods because my mom
Oh,
dice,
sí.
te vas a reventar.
Sí. Yes.
What do you mean? Te vas a desvirginar.
Yo por eso todavía no uso eso.
Doing something, right?
I'm like, because it's going in there, I'm
Yeah.
no longer like, what? That was the dumbest dude. When they would give us health classes in 7th and 8th grade, you know how they give you like little samples or whatever? I would have to hide that at my house.
Yeah.
Era taboo. You cannot talk about that.
How dare you talk about it? My grandma one time slapped me in the mouth because I was talking about periods. Like, I was like, they teach us this in 7th grade. Like, they're trying to prepare you for stuff. It was absolutely not a conversation to have with you, anything. When it happened, I remember the first time it happened, I was old as shit too. I was like 16 and a half. You know, I was having pains, and I go to the bathroom and I see, and I was like, I think I hurt myself on the bike. That's how naive I was, right?
You didn't even
And I go
know.
tell her, she's like, well, ya te cargo la chingada. That was her response.
Oh my God.
And I was like, not here. She's like, well,
like, pero ¿por qué?
And then
Like,
she gave me a Kotex or whatever, and it was, that motherfucker was like this thick.
A mattress.
Yeah, it was huge.
She puts it in
You
my
were
little
sitting on a
calzoncito,
pillow.
right? And she's like, ponte boca abajo y ponte algo calentito en la panza. Like, pues ya eres mujer, ahora te tienes que cuidar porque estos hombres acá. And I'm like, where are the consejos coming like this?
Yeah.
Bro?
I made sure super special. Like, I took her out to
special?
eat.
That's
My
weird.
daughter cried.
Like,
My
I took her out to
baby
eat,
cried.
got her
That's
ice
awkward.
cream, and I'm like, you're a woman now.
I plan on doing that too.
No,
my mom
baby
did talk to me
cried.
about it.
No, my baby.
I was surprised.
I wasn't even allowed to shave, bro.
Because that was a long time ago. I did it behind her back too.
I was
So
a
when she
freshman
was
with
having
Harry
that talk
Pitts.
with me, I was like, what?
No.
Locker room. I should have failed PE, bro. I didn't even want to get changed in PE, bro. I was in the fucking bathroom stall.
You
like,
should have skipped.
You were in
should have
high
skipped.
school?
yeah, I was a
Like
freshman, bro, and I could not shave.
Man, I started shaving in 5th grade behind my mom's back.
No, I did it too, and I was a
like,
freaking junior.
I took my dad's
No, I'm
razor
thankful
and
I'm
I
not
was
hairy.
like, this gotta go.
When I tell you my parents were strict, they were
Y
strict.
me corté,
like,
and un
Ande,
día my
cabrón.
mom me ve con shorts and she's like, ¿qué hiciste? And I'm
Abusadora.
like, ¿qué? Nada.
yeah, I was such a big tomboy. I didn't even wear shorts, so I was always wearing pants. So she never really noticed it for like.
I
probably
wore
a
long
while.
ass shorts. I'm like,
Los pesqueros.
Cool. Yeah.
No, pero yo sí hablé con mi hija sobre eso de the period. When she was 11, she was like, Mama, you know already. I'm like, because her families, my ex families, le hablaron a ella, luego my mom, my sister, then me. She's like, I know everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. But when I got that call from her crying, when she was like crying to me,
Nothing
and I'm like,
prepares
what's wrong? I grabbed the car. I was driving already to her house. I'm like, something happened. She's like, I got my period. I'm like, oh my God, Analia.
Every time
I feel
like,
bad for them.
Like my daughter says something, I'm like, what? what happened?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like thinking that she's going to tell me that. And she's like, no, Mom, like, this happened. And I'm like, what happened? Every time she's like, oh my God, this happened. Or, and I'm like, what? I'm just like waiting for that. I'm like, oh,
How old is
it's
she?
coming 11.
11. Mine
I
got it at 12.
11. I got it at 11. So I'm like, it's coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, everyone's different, but no, I talked to both of them, and I've done it for a long time. I talk to them about using protection. I talk about getting pregnant.
I was thankful for my son to call me out. I was upset. I'm like, what are you doing at 3 a.m. outside of the house? So I had spoken to the dad about that. But anyways, when I called him, I'm like, why didn't you have protection? He's like, oh, they were finishing this. I'm like, you're telling me you're a fucking bunny? Right after another one? I'm like, okay, so which one do you buy? I'm like, do you feel okay with them? Because I know there were different kinds.
It's different, yep.
I'm like, and he was like, no, I tried this one. This one gave me this, and I like this one better. And I'm like, so which one's the one that you like better? I'm like, because I need to buy you more of those.
Yes, for sure. I'm like, don't do it. If she tells you she's on the pill, do not do it. Yeah. You
It's
use
a lie. It's
protection. Use protection, kids. And adults.
And we're gonna wrap up.
Saves you from
We're gonna
some
wrap
things,
up
right?
with this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Podcast saying, wrap it up.
Yes.
Wrapping up with wrapping up.
Y también para las adultas y los adultos.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Yes.
God!
Wrap
Have you seen the TikTok right now? The AIDS numbers are going really high.
No.
The numbers
not on
is
TikTok.
something historical that the numbers went high so fast. I'm gonna send it to you guys.
Yes, please.
The numbers of AIDS have been gone up
Wow.
big time.
You know what I did see? That right now more 40-year-olds are having kids than 20-year-olds.
Yeah, I did see that.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
There's hope.
Moms
There's
are
hope.
waiting.
Yes.
There's hope for my sister.
No. I'll be a grandma going to the park. Come on. I'll run with you.
The beautiful ending of this episode saying, take care of yourself. Cúbretela. Tápatela.
No hard feelings to our parents.
We love you. We love you guys.
We love them.
Yeah.
I love
We
my
love
mom.
them.
I love my dad.
Yes, I love
And
my
my
Pero
family.
somos las mujeres que somos el día de hoy, gracias a ellos.
Sí.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mamas.
Yes,
Sí,
happy
feliz
Mother's
día de las
Day.
mamitas, de las
In
mamacitas.
advance.
Feliz Día de las Madres.
Yes.
Okay, so if you
Gracias.
like what you heard, make sure to subscribe and tune in next time. Okay, y así acabamos el episodio con
Adiós, guapos.